What's going on, everyone? I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Just a little disclaimer, if you have young people around you, like children or what have you, viewer discretion advised. I am going to be using some foul language and colorful metaphors in this video because of what happened this morning. I just got off the phone with Topps, and I am thoroughly pissed off. So you may want to have the little ones walk away for this video. So now that that's out of the way, of course, all of you know what to do. If you've seen the disclaimers on the bottom of this video, it would really help to support the channel. Like, comment, subscribe, and also check out my eBay store, where I'm selling loose sports cards, etc. But we're going to dive right into this. What's with all this over here? Why is Turbo Man holding a box of Topps 2024 update series a hanger? You guys know I don't script my video. The weather is pretty shitty outside. I just printed out the shipping itinerary for another order that came in from my eBay store. Thank you very much. It was the last of my Paw Patrol PP2s. And I still have some cards I have to process yet, which are there on my dining room table. And I want to get right into this. Many of you are like me. Okay? You spend money on this stuff, right? By the way, I broke all these boxes, and I did film the box breaks. I got some decent pulls out of here. But you're like me. You're not a local card shop. You're not a box breaker, not the traditional, listen, turn in at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and buy into the box break because I don't work a normal job, because it's easy for me to sit home and scam people out of their money when grown adults can actually open the goddamn boxes themselves. Imagine that. You, a goddamn grown adult, can actually buy these boxes on your own and open them yourselves. Why are you paying some asshole to open up boxes for you? I am a collector first and foremost, okay? Anything extra I will sell off so that this way I can put cards back into the pool again. And many of you have responded in kind. My collection comes first. My ability to collect comes first. And then anything else I don't need becomes excess, so I can sell that off and put some money right back into it again. I'm not here making $1 million. I work right from my home. But I have the ability to buy these boxes and pull them out myself and lay them all out and make videos for everybody. I'm not trying to scam people that buy my breaks. Fuck you and your breaks. I can't stand box breakers. I can't stand LCSs. I can't stand what's going on in the hobby because it's turned into this. A fucking Turbo Man doll. That's what the hobby is now. It's a fucking Turbo Man doll. Why am I raging on camera like this? This morning was the drop for Topps Chrome Sapphire. And I've had success ordering cards. Some cards I kind of just like, I'm not interested. Not interested, but I wanted to buy one of these for $300 and change per box, which is fucking expensive for any normie that's out there. Especially if you have kids and you're trying to pay the bills and a mortgage and all that. These cards are expensive. Why do you think many of us went after these first and foremost? Because they're cheap. And at least you get a little taste of what it's like to have a little fun with the hobby. And again, anything extra that I open, I will sell off to the public for as cheap as I can, based on what I see out there. And I think I've tried to fulfill that promise to all of you, with one or two exceptions. But I'm not greedy like that. I try to put it right back into the hobby. So not only am I taking that money and buying stuff like this, which, by the way, I shot the video of me opening these boxes. I buy, other stuff, jerseys, toys, weird shit that I can review here on the channel. But I put in my order for Topps Chrome Sapphire at 12 o'clock. That was the release time, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I've been pretty successful with the cards I actually wanted to order. For example, look at a dumpster fire that Topps Chrome Baseball Update has become. And I was actually able to manage to find a second jumbo box for maybe like $80 above retail, which is still it's not bad, but it's not good either. To have to pay that price, anything above retail for a new release, I think is shit. And I will be putting a screen capture of some jackass who's on the shop app who is already selling pre-orders for almost $700 for Topps Chrome Sapphire. It's a fucking Turbo Man doll now. Have you ever seen Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad chasing this fucking doll all over town? And the madness that created in a movie? Consumerism has gone absolutely berserk because of fucking greed. Now, obviously, you don't want to do what Hasbro did with Star Wars toys, overproducing this already, factory-made landfill shit, especially if you watch World-Class Bullshitters. He's a very good source of this sort of thing. Because these companies, they just don't understand the fucking fans. The fans know better. Listen to the fucking fans. Listen to the people who are pumping their money into this stuff. You can't overproduce, but you can't underproduce either. Listen to your customer base. So I went through the motions of paying for 2 hobby boxes of Topps Chrome Sapphire. Not only did they fucking sell out in about 2.5 minutes, which means they only spit out a couple boxes here and there, which is nothing more than which is consumerism gone berserk, so that this way it can create a fucking fervor for you to buy a Turbo Man doll for your kids for the holiday. Or unless you're a fucking man-child, which clearly I am because I have a Turbo Man doll. At least I can call myself out. Look in the mirror, folks. Stop being narcissists. You're a fucking man-child just like me. Except the toy are baseball cards. So I go into Topps website. I put my order in. I want the 2 jumbo boxes. $700 and change. That's with tax and shipping. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I think the shipping was free over a certain dollar amount. It came out to like 700 something with tax. I press the PayPal button, done. Poof. I look at my checking account. I see minus 700 something dollars. What was it? $792, whatever it is it came out to. I'm like, great. I beat the box breakers. And then all of a sudden, a half hour later, I had an unexpected bill. I look at my checking account. The money is right back in my checking account again. I'm like, what is this? They canceled my order and instantly refunded my money. Normally, when you pay through PayPal, you would get an instant receipt in your email if you have it set up for that, which I do, of course. I didn't get said receipt. I didn't get said payment confirmation. But yet the money was extracted out of my checking account and put right back in a half hour later. I'm like, what the jolly hell fuck is going on over here? So as it turns out, the product sold out. And my order just out in the trash. I can tell you I was not thrilled. The fucking product sold out in about 2 minutes. I even tried to refresh once to see if my order went through. And the site, and it crashed. Everything froze like it usually does. It happened with Topps Chrome update recently. It happens with all these stupid releases that Topps comes out with that try to create an artificial fervor for this stuff. That's essentially what it is. It's like having a flock of vultures in a cage and you take a piece of raw chicken meat and you throw it in there. Well, if you're teasing them with the chicken meat, what the fuck do you think they're going to do? They're going to start pecking away at the cage expecting to be goddamn fed. That's what Topps does. That's the business model they're using. And you can blame Fanatics for that. They've turned baseball card collecting and they're chasing down a fucking Turbo Man doll. So I called up Topps. And to, what was her name? Ellie? Miss Ellie? If you happen to come across this video, again, I appreciate your candor. And I apologized to her several times because I kept finding my emotions or something to get the best of me, and I wanted to make sure I was as cordial and professional as possible. Remember, I am an LLC, so I want to be as professional and cordial as possible. And I do have some evidence to support what I'm about to say. All right, as a member of the 9/11 community, just like our veterans, we have been royally fucked. Royally fucked. The fund is always running out of money. It was ripe for frauds and fakes and people that claim that they were down there when they never were. The vetting process that I had to go to, and I've showed my credentials here on camera, in that last video, I've had to prove myself more times than I can count to my doctors and everyone else. Even to get approved for certain medical treatment, I have to go through their system. But because of all the fraudulent claims that went on over the years, guess who gets screwed over? That's right, people like yours truly. And if anybody got a problem with that, go talk to my attorneys. But it's reached such a point where it's like everything's a fucking scam. Everything that can and will be scammed will be a scam. If this Gatorade had some sort of misprint on it, some jackass out there would try to flip it on eBay. Capitalism. I'm an Orange Man supporter. But this is not capitalism, it's fucking greed. So I called up Tops. And to Miss Ellie, I apologized to her, and she's like, I appreciate that. I'm kind of paraphrasing here a little bit. She appreciated the fact that I apologized to her anytime I used, colorful language like I'm using in this video. She was so nice and so sweet, and she gave me a set of instructions as to what to do to voice my opinion about Tops becoming a fucking Turbo Man doll. Thank you, Fanatics. These box breakers are the fucking problem. The local card shops are the problem. And then the fucking eBay flippers, or those who are on Etsy and Shop and all these other apps and StockX. I've seen it on StockX, on Walmart's app, on Target's app, through third parties. The fucking greed is out of control. I worked for a living. I had a 13-year career in union construction. Go back and watch my Kurt's Card Care has chemicals in it video. And you'll see my credentials are in full order. I worked for a fucking living. But what I had to go through to get out of the system, what I put into it, plus after all the lies we were told in the 9/11 community, oh yeah, the air is safe. Bullshit. And then look at all the fraudulent claims that went through. And someone who was legitimately at that site had to suffer. Look at our poor veterans, what they have to go through. And assholes out there stealing fucking valor, begging for change at the corner of a fucking highway somewhere, on the off-ramp. Why do normies have to put up with this shit? And I let her have it. But I didn't, and I made this clear to her. Miss Ellie, again, if you're watching this video, I said that my comments are not directed at you as the individual. You only work for them. Okay? But I have to voice my concerns because I know this video, I know it's probably being recorded. I'm sure. The quantity control. Bullshit. That, to me, in my opinion, it seems that the favoritism is going to the box breakers, and it's going to the local card shops, and it's going to these jackasses that run these con artist nonsense pages on Etsy and Shop and Walmart. Clearly, they're using bots. You cannot tell me that a product would just sell out in 2 minutes. Even the NES Classic didn't sell out in that amount of time years ago. Remember that debacle? I have one sitting right there. People weren't buying it to play it. They were buying it to flip it because they knew people wanted it. I.e. a fucking Turbo Man doll. This hobby is out of control. And for someone like me who actually wants to build a legitimate collection of sports cards, you can't. These box breakers and these local card shops and these greedy pieces of shit, like the sneakerheads, I've talked about this. Sneaker culture is dead. Nobody is going to buy sneakers from a third party because your goal is to flip them because you're a lazy prick. And then you'll be the first ones to riot out in the streets. It's the white man's fault. It's Trump's fault. It's that person's fault. It's that person's fault. It's this fault. Blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. The problem is you. You. Where's the camera? Right there. There you go. The problem is you. You are the problem, not us. The hobby is a Turbo Man doll. And with all these gimmicks and all the bullshit that are built into these cards now, with all these parallels and chase cards, it's becoming quite apparent to me that it's not fun. A lot of you are old school collectors on my channel, I'm sure. It's not fun anymore. Or at least to me, I'm only in it for a few months, and to me, it just doesn't seem like it's fun anymore. I don't know what I'm going to do. I even told a lady, I got a YouTube channel. You can see all the hundreds of packs of cards and box breaks I've done. Don't us normies have a say in what goes on here? That you put out, that I guess they have that's their business model, to turn this into a fucking Turbo Man doll, to create artificial scarcity with products. Because they know people are going to go after this. What do you think of my former home under criminal, radical, fascist, socialist, leftist, communist, Marxist, hashtag MeToo, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, anti-white, anti-family, anti-parent, anti-police, anti-Trump, bedbug-infested, crime-ridden regime of the COVID concentration camp, illegal immigrant refugee camp, pro-diddler, profile, pro-rainbow regime of New York allows the fucking shit that they do? Especially like when it comes to cigarettes. Have you ever seen what the cost of a pack of cigarettes are? I don't smoke. Do you know why it's so expensive? Taxes. Because they know that people that are horrifically and slavishly, even if that's even a word, that they know people want these cigarettes or vapes or whatever it is, because allegedly it's supposed to calm you down. New York State intentionally taxes them because they know people want it. And it's legal in some places. Just like beer. Why do you think beer is so expensive up there? Because they know people want it. So they tax it to death. It's not to try to stop people from smoking. It's so that they can draw more money out. It's all about profit. Profit. A fucking Turbo Man doll. That is what all of this has become. It's a fucking Turbo Man doll. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to the hobby. It's not fair to people that genuinely care about this stuff. Everything's about money, money, money. Yeah, I love money. I got more money than I know what to do with. I'm like a bastardized cheap Walmart knockoff fucking Scrooge McDuck. I have my little fortune put away. It's not a lot, but at least it's something. But at least I'm not one greedy son of a bitch. And if this does not stop, sports cards are going to turn into what the sneaker hobby has turned into, or sneaker collecting has turned into. People are going to find other ways to get their fix. That's why counterfeit sneakers went off the charts. Because people are not going to pay some third-party asshole who wants to artificially, create scarcity in a hobby, or create artificial demand in anything. People are going to find ways to get what they want for cheap. You have that right. Isn't that the basis of capitalism? To be able to find things for an inexpensive price so you get more bang for your buck? This is it, folks. We've reached rock bottom. And now I don't know what I'm going to do as far as my involvement in the hobby is concerned, because after today's experience, and again, I don't blame the woman I spoke to. Again, her name is Miss Ellie. She was so sweet and so nice. Is it really worth this shit anymore? That if you're somebody who legitimately wants these sports cards, you can't get your hands on them. Because some fat, bald-headed, cigarette-smoking or neck-bearded fuck with a baseball cap turned off to the side a little bit, who doesn't work a real fucking job and solely depends on these fucking cards to make money, that they will do anything to fuck you over. Yep. You can tell how stressed out I am talking about this. I want this channel to be positive. But when things like this happen, it must be called out. And Topps, I don't really blame Topps as in and of themselves. I blame Fanatics. Fanatics is responsible for turning the hobby into a fucking Turbo Man doll. Isn't it sad how bad consumerism has become? Merry fucking Christmas.